Hi, everybody. Welcome to Friday's Focus on Finances. My name is Jamie Fleming, and today we're going to talk about how to save money for your kids. So start your kids off right in life by putting money away in strategic savings accounts. Starting a family almost always means parents will need to make adjustments to their finances. From buying birthday presents to paying fees for extracurricular activities, raising kids can be costly. Children tend to be a pretty big budget disruptor. Whether you want to teach your child smart money management strategies, help them pay for college, or set them up for financial success as adults, it's important to jumpstart savings for kids early on. However, it's critical to use the right type of accounts. The best way to save money for kids will depend on your individual goals and your goals as a family. But here are 7 options to consider. You can create a children's savings account. You can open a custodial account. You can leverage a 529 college savings or prepaid tuition plan. You can use your Roth IRA, open a health savings account or an HSA, set aside money in a trust fund, and ultimately, my favorite, and I think the most important, is teach your kids the value of saving money. So we're going to look at each one of these. So creating a children's savings account. Most banks and credit unions offer children's savings accounts, which parents can co-own. These accounts can help children develop the habit of saving rather than spending all their money. It can be a really valuable tool. Now, whenever my kids, now 12-year-old twins, received a gift of money, I always make a point to encourage them to save a portion of it. Now, when Gma or Auntie writes them a check, they get the experience of going into the bank and depositing the funds themselves. This is incredibly valuable, and it allows them to see and learn the process involved. Rather than paying a cash allowance, parents may want to set up a recurring allowance transfer. This can encourage children to take an active role in managing their money while earning some interest as well. As children age, they may be moved into teen checking accounts and issued a debit card. This was a huge deal for my kids this year. Not only do they feel more empowered by having their own debit cards, I feel much safer, so they're not running around carrying a bunch of cash around. We can also track their spending this way as well. Parents remain co-owners of teen accounts to help them oversee and assist with money management as needed. The next type of account is the ability to open a custodial account. A custodial account may be best for those who want to save money for their children, but don't want them to have access to the cash until they're adults. The money is held in the child's name, but parents can deposit and manage the account until the child reaches the age of maturity. These types of accounts can be helpful if parents are saving for another purpose outside of college. Custodial accounts may be set up at banks or brokerage firms. They are governed by the Uniform Gifts to Minors Act and the Uniform Transfer to Minors Act. The accounts allow children to own securities as well, or other assets that may otherwise be off limits for them. While custodial accounts don't provide the same tax benefits as other college savings vehicles, they may be a good choice for parents who aren't sure their child will actually go to college or who want to provide a financial gift upon adulthood. Once their child reaches the age of majority as governed by their specific state, money from a custodial account is then transferred to him or her. The next way to save is leveraging a 529 college savings or prepaid tuition plan. Financial experts, including myself, seem to universally agree that a 529 plan is the best way to save money for child college cost. For education, it's tough to beat a 529 plan. The accounts come with tax benefits, and many plans feature low fees. There are 2 types of 529 plans. One is a general college savings plan that allows parents to put money aside into an account that can be used at any school, including private K through 12 institutions. Some states provide a tax deduction for contributions to their state's 529 plan, and withdrawals used for qualified education expenses are exempt from federal income tax. The other option is a prepaid tuition plan that locks in current tuition rates for public institutions. While the ability to lock in tuition rates is a valuable benefit, the college savings option offers more flexibility and may be a better choice for most families. The other account to consider is using your Roth IRA. Dipping into retirement savings for your kids may not sound like a smart plan, but it can be okay so as long as it's done with proper planning. Roth IRAs can be a smart choice if you're looking for the best savings plan for child expenses that offers flexibility. A Roth IRA allows people to save after-tax dollars for retirement. In 2021, workers younger than age 50 can save up to $6,000, while those of us who are 50 or older can contribute $7,000 in 2021. Money withdrawn after age 59 and a half is tax-free, but withdrawing any gains prior to that age results in a 10% penalty. So you want to make sure you're looking at your timeline. The flexibility with a Roth IRA comes from the fact that the principal amount can be taken out at any time without tax or penalty. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for retirement either. Depending on your age, you could use some or all the money placed into the Roth IRA for your child's college education or other expenses. However, if you plan to deplete the account, make sure, please, you're doing proper planning for your own retirement and have other resources like a 401k or IRA rollover. There are income limits for those who want to contribute to a Roth IRA, but high-earning households can use what we call a backdoor IRA strategy to access these accounts as well. In 2021, the ability to contribute to a Roth IRA begins to phase out for married couples filing jointly at incomes of $198,000. To get around this limit, they can make a non-deductible contribution to a traditional IRA and then convert to a Roth IRA in the same year. The next account to consider is opening a health savings account or an HSA. If you have adult children who are covered by your high deductible health insurance plan, a health savings account is another option to consider. It's the only triple tax-free savings tool in America today. Those with a qualified high deductible family health insurance plan can contribute up to $7,200 in 2021 to a health savings account. This money is tax deductible, it grows tax-free, and can be withdrawn tax-free from qualified medical expenses. At age 65, money can be withdrawn for any reason and only be subject to regular income tax, the same as a traditional 401k or IRA. While a married couple can only open one health savings account, each adult child covered by a family plan can actually open their own account, and anyone can make contributions totaling up to the $7,200 limit. While there are limitations to the use of this money, having an account dedicated to healthcare costs can actually help smooth your child's transition into adulthood as well. The best time to fund your HSA is when you don't need the funds, of course. The next area to look at is actually setting aside money in a trust fund. Though not as common, a trust fund is another way to save money for kids. A trust fund can be set up with any amount of money, but it usually doesn't make sense unless you have a large amount of cash to deposit into it to start. An attorney needs to draw up the trust documents, and someone must be appointed to also manage the money within the trust. Still, for wealthier families, a trust fund offers more control over disbursements, protects cash from creditors, and actually ensures a child's assets aren't split during a divorce. And then last but really not least, this is the number one thing you can do for your child in my mind, is to teach your kids the value of saving money. While creating savings for kids is important, parents shouldn't overlook the value of teaching children to set aside money for themselves. While opening a children's savings account is one way to do that, even young kids can be taught more advanced concepts such as investing. One way to do that is to give children a say in a stock purchase. Some investment firms now allow the sale of fractional shares, which makes it possible for even with limited money to own a part of a popular company such as Disney or Apple. For some kids, that may be more exciting than buying another toy at Target. Meanwhile, Stockpile app issues gift cards that kids can redeem for stock in their favorite company. Custodial accounts on the app allow kids to have their own login to manage their account and request stock trades. But of course, their parents have to then approve. So don't worry about them being minors and making unwarranted stock trades. There are safety nets in there for parents to help their children and approve these before they're made. Then over time, children can see how the value of the money they save and invest changes. Parents should also make a point to include children in money discussions whenever appropriate. These may include, for instance, discussing the cost of household expenses or planning to save for a vacation. Finances seems to be a taboo topic in many households, but it's extremely important for kids to see and hear these discussions to help them make smart money decisions when they get older. We do this ongoing as a family, and more of this is about them being aware of the cost and then valuing what is being put into some of the activities we do as a family and for them as individuals. So please, please do your kids a huge favor. Give them the gift of a financial education and foundation to build on for their future. If you do that, they will be way ahead of the financial game. And if you're not feeling like you're 100% confident in how to deal and to give them this financial education foundation, there are plenty of resources online. You can learn together, make it a fun family event, and set them apart and ahead so that they will be empowered to make good money management decisions in the future. Okay, everybody, thanks for being here, and I will see you next week on Friday's Focus on Finances.